I'll start with her.
Hi, welcome to this TESOL Career Path Development Professional Learning Network interview. My name is Weiyu Zhang, and this is Rizwana Islam.
Hi.
We are members of the TESOL CPD PLN leadership team. Today, we are privileged to have Joyce Kling here with us. She's an experienced TESOL professional, and she serves as an associate professor at the Department of English, Germanic, and Romance Studies in the University of Copenhagen. And she's also the incoming president of the TESOL International Association. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for the invitation.
Welcome and thank you so much for being here with us. We believe that our member will greatly benefit from hearing about your experience. We'll make this interview short and sweet. So without further ado, could you first tell us a little bit more about yourself and also your stories with TESOL?
Sure. Well, you've mentioned where I work, right? So I work at the University of Copenhagen. I am originally from the United States, and I've lived in several countries, both in relation, well, actually all of them in relation to our English language teaching field. After my undergraduate years at the University of Michigan, I actually took a gap year where I did my first course with International House in London, where I got a certificate in English language instruction as kind of a taste, and that led me on to getting my master's degree in TESOL at what's now called the Middlebury Institute for International Studies in Monterey. I was originally it was called Monterey Institute back then. And I went off to work in Japan, taught English in Japan for a couple of years. I came back to the Institute in Monterey and taught there for a few years. I worked at Harvard University's English language program, and then moved to Denmark already in 1997. So I've been here, I'm going on 25 years here in Denmark, where I worked both at Copenhagen Business School and now at the University of Copenhagen. So my story with TESOL, I started in TESOL as a graduate student. So I became a member in early 1988. And I actually came to TESOL, it was in Chicago. I remember it was in the big hotel and it was overwhelming, and there were a handful of us who had come with some of our professors, and they were interviewing for professors. So we got to be part of the interview team and attend their presentations, and they held our hands and took us around, and it left such an impression on my, this was now my professional home, and I've been a member since.
Such a wonderful
also,
journey.
I will tell you, I was a member of the Career Path Development team last year. Yeah, so I served on the board of directors from 2006 to 2009, and then I've served on various committees since. But I had the pleasure of working with Liz England and her team up until last year. Once I was elected onto the board of directors again, then I had to resign from the CPD.
I guess the journey speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So from your journey to some milestone seeking, maybe, could you share a significant milestone in your career and how it influenced the course of your career development?
I've been thinking about this. What are the milestones in my career? And some of them are personal and some of them are more professional activities that crossed my path. On a personal note, the academic staff at the Monterey Institute, now Middlebury Institute, while I attended, really served as mentors and as role models for me in terms of their teaching, the way they taught, what they taught, their professional activities. And so I was just honored to work with Kathy Bailey and with Peter Shaw and with the late Leo Van Leer and Lynn Goldstein and a number of, it was very small and it was very intimate. And so watching them as professionals really guided how I then pursued my career. They gave me opportunities that hadn't crossed my mind, that, we're going to have a local conference and now you're going to chair this little part of it, or we're going to do something and you're going to send in an abstract. And it was always just, of course you will, right? You will do this because you're one of us now and we're all part of the profession together. And so it was never, there was never this strong hierarchical, you're the student and we're your teachers. It was, we're all professionals together and you can join a TESOL association and do something. The second half to that professionally was that I got involved in activities at professional levels. And I started taking on more and more administrative roles. I did this also in my job in Japan. I came to my job in Japan with a stronger academic background than many of the others. And so suddenly I was also taking on academic coordination roles at the school I was working at. And then when I came back, and ultimately the job I ended up with at Harvard University was, first and foremost, I was a full-time administrator, coordinating and counseling students for the English language program at Harvard's Extension School. And then I did my requisite teaching at night, right? The extra, doing my language classes in the evening and working full-time. And that really set a course for me of looking at English language instruction, not from just the classroom, but also from the administrator side. So yeah, that's my story.
Okay, thanks for the sharing. So now you are the incoming president of the TESOL International Association. How do you see your current role influencing your career path and impacting your future plans?
Yeah, I say I came back to the board because it has been 10 years since I was on the board. I have become more and more interested in the leadership role of English language teaching and the amount of literature that's now being produced, studies about leadership in TESOL. And I see myself also going a little bit more in that direction. So my future career, both in terms of my research and hopefully being able to teach a graduate course in teacher training on leadership or management in ELT. Yeah.
So from your upcoming big success, a story of success, we're actually hearing that. So I want to get into a bit into your personal life maybe. So how do you balance work and life with so many roles and responsibilities?
Right. There's always a time, if you ask people, what's your biggest challenge? I've always, the answer coming back at me has always been time. And I'm no different. I will say that there are periods in my life where family has to come first. I do have 2 daughters, and that is one of the reasons why I had a lag in TESOL leadership, right? Where I didn't get as involved in perhaps maybe chairing a committee, but serving on a committee just because there were family obligations. My girls are older now, so that gives me a little bit more time. One of the things that works in my favor is that I am, because I'm situated in Europe, I'm 6 hours ahead of those who work at the TESOL office, for example, in the United States. And so I can do most of my TESOL meetings and business in the evening. So I get this extended work day, but it helps me out in that I can do my full-time job and then the full-time TESOL job in 2 different time zones. And for example, meet with you 2, right? This works out well for all of us that we can find time zones. But really trying to find the link between why doing this work feeds into my day job is the challenge, and it's the most rewarding part, because when I can figure out how the link connects the 2, then I can be more productive in both. So those are the types of challenges. I can't say it's easy, and I can't say that there's one answer, and there will always be something that maybe gets put to the side in order to focus on something else. I just hope that I'm able to balance and come back to not forget about that thing that's on the side. Yeah.
Okay, apart from the tips for balancing work and life, it would be valuable for our members to also hear about how experienced TESOL professionals handle difficulties and challenges. So what have you done in moments when things are not going how you expected?
Yeah, I reach out I have learned you really can't do it by yourself. And when you're really struggling, that there's absolutely no shame in reaching out to the community and asking someone to help you. And from that note, if you're in a leadership position, to delegate, because the good leader is not the person who's doing it all by themselves and knows all the answers. I am the first to tell you that I do not have all the answers, and that if I have a team of people that I'm working with and they have expertise, then I'm going to use their expertise and ask them to mentor me and ask them to tell me how to proceed. So really reaching out to your network. I'm been married for a very long time, so I also reach out to my husband quite a bit. He's always been a huge support for me, and family, but really drawing on other people and making sure that I'm not pretending to know something that I don't know, that I do find the expert and get them to help me and give me the answers. Yeah.
So you just talked about how you were a member of CPD PLN, and the next question will be about that. For our membership who are new graduates or those who are starting a new career, do you have any advice or suggestions for them? How do you suggest they utilize the resources and support provided by CPD PLN? For example, the membership program that people like me, we are doing.
Right. The one piece of advice is get involved. It can be overwhelming. TESOL's huge, and there's so many intersections and so many learning networks and activities in the communities of practice. But just join one, something that interests you. Watch some webinars at home. See who the people are. See if you feel like you have a connection. I apologize about my little dog barking in the background. He's going to do that on occasion. But just get involved and meet one person. Join one of the webinars, because you might in a breakout room just meet somebody who'll say, hey, feel free to write to me. And that's the one thing about TESOLers, is if they offer you, a lifeline, a chance, they really do mean it. They're not just saying it, right? We can have that stereotype that, oh, they really didn't want me to, but write to people. If you saw a presentation that you liked, everybody likes getting a compliment. Everybody likes hearing from graduate students who are interested. So reach out to people, join a committee. Joining a committee is not hours and hours. It's a few hours a month. And then you get to learn something, and you learn some new skills that are outside the TESOL academic curriculum and provide you with those soft skills, those other skills that are often even more beneficial in your job and for the future. So I would say that as graduate students, when you think of TESOL and TESOL International Association, not thinking of it as they or them, but instead as us and we, right? We do this together. It's not they, it's us, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Joyce. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to share your experience with us. We are confident that our audience will enjoy this interview and also have some takeaways to reflect on their own TESOL career path. Thank you again, and please stay tuned for the upcoming events from the TESOL CPD PLN. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation. It's really been a pleasure.